Welcome back to another episode of the Pyramid Sports Network interview series. Today, I am joined by not only Ryan Fallman and Kevin Barnett for the interview series, but I'm also joined by the former ace of the Rhodes College baseball Lynx and number 13 on the Miami Red Hawks, Mr. Zac Sohosky. Zach, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you fellas for having me. It's good to see you guys and talk to you guys.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Zach was our teammate at Rhodes last year and had so much success that he ended up transferring out and went to the Miami University in Ohio, the great state of. So Zach, why don't you go ahead and for those of you who aren't familiar with you, give a little background. You know where you grew up. You got a different flag behind you than I would fly in my house. So we'll hear a little bit about that and kind of give us a little color on you.
Yeah. Grew up in England, or born there, grew up there, lived there for 5 total years. Um, Played a lot of soccer and rugby there growing up. Didn't play a lot of baseball. And then when we moved to the States, got into baseball growing up in Bentonville, Arkansas. Um,
To change.
it's a change, man, from Lincolnshire, England. Anyway,
That's a
um,
very English sounding town name.
very, you
And I'll
think it's
tell you
out of
what, I'll tell you what, if I were to have never met you before, and if I were one of the listeners and I heard the first few minutes of this, I would have never thought you would have been born there.
no shot. But yeah, I grew up in Bentonville. Kind of a late bloomer in high school, sitting low 80s, mid 80s. And by senior year, the only options I kind of had were JUCO or Division two, Division three. Ended up choosing Rhodes, wanted a good academic fit, baseball fit. Wanted to go to like a bigger city, kind of somewhere close, but still far away from home. And wound up at Rhodes, had some success, couple years, and decided to see how far baseball can take me, see, if I could do the same thing in the next level and hit the transfer portal after my junior year. Ended up at Miami, talked to a few schools, but ultimately chose Miami because the families moved up here to Columbus and another good academic fit. So,
Zach, you're great at getting interviewed because you already basically answered my first question. But if you want to share any more about the portal process, because it looks so different for so many different athletes, especially considering the sport, whatever else you want to say about like what was going into your mind, who did you talk to? Did our coaches at Rhodes, what did they do, and where do you think you got most of your looks from?
yeah, that kind of in my mind, I was just gonna see what was out there. And Coach Schreier and Coach Nance were great through the whole thing. Coach C kind of retired and he was out of it. Um, but like I was actually with my buddies and I just was thinking about it. So I emailed our girl, like she handles all the transfers. And I said, how would I enter if I wanted to? And she said, send me your email, send me your number. So I did, and then she said, okay, great, like you're in the portal. I was like, whoa. That happened fat. Like I was just kind of seeing the steps. And about 10 minutes later, Coach Schreier called me. He's like, hey, so you're in the portal now.
That's crazy.
I was like, yeah, I
Accident.
guess so. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to give you guys some heads up, but like the chick kind of took it upon herself. He's like, dude, like that's great. Like if you need anything, we got you like to recommend whatever. Like the way I look at it, if we're not sending guys to D1, then like we're not a good Division three program. Like that's kind of what he said, and they were great. I know a couple coaches called him and said like, "What do you got on this guy?" And they did nothing but hype me up, and so we still have a great relationship. Uh, First day, I posted like a Twitter thing, and that's where most of my looks came from. Uh, just like a highlight reel of the past year, really, and the most current version of my like pitching. Uh, and yeah, I got some schools, talked to a lot of schools, talked to a few big ones early, like Virginia Tech, like your like Texas Tech, a bunch of those guys. And then especially after the draft, after in the portal for a minute, and some schools like Cincinnati, North Carolina, all kind of TCU, they all kind of like beat around the bush, but none of them ended up like going as far to give an offer. uh, except Texas Tech. Texas Tech did, but it came down to those two, Texas Tech and Miami. Kind of had the same offer from both places, but I figured like I wanted to play for as a senior. Wanted a better like close to home so my parents could come watch senior year. And Texas Tech had a lot of guys coming in. I think they had 40 something, and I didn't want to really fight for
Jeez.
a spot. So had a great relationship with the coaches here and liked it when I visited. And the rest is it. Committed. And now I'm here. Here I am.
Yeah, the one thing that you said that I thought was interesting about how what Coach Ryan and Nance were saying, how you kind of have to be, and for those of you who don't know, Coach Ryan and Coach Nance are now the Coach Ryan is the current head baseball coach at Rhodes College. Coach Nance, the associate head coach at Rhodes College, pitching coach. But how you were saying that D3s kind of need to facilitate that movement if players want to do it because it not only helps the players but helps the program. I think that is such a real situation now because I know being from the Northeast, and I'm sure Kev, you can attest to some of this too, there were a lot of those Connecticut guys who went to East Connecticut and
Yep.
then they just started going. I know they had a few kids that went to Duke, and they had guys that go to UVA, and it
Yeah.
kind of solidified them as one of the better Division III schools in the country. I think that if you're not doing that as a D2 or a D3 at this point, less so obviously in D2 because some of those schools are big time baseball programs, but you're just going to fall behind.
For sure. And Coach, I mean, they were great. They kept it open to me coming back. They're like, hey, if like you get out there and don't find anything you like more than this, like, we'll have you back. But yeah, they were great.
Did you have any like D1 shock when you got there, or like a rough outing on the mound your first couple times, or like just a change in perception? Like, I mean, we're fine ball players here at Rhodes D3, but like the divisions are split for a reason. Like, did you have any like shock or like a this is different moment?
Yeah, I mean, definitely even in before that, before I got to campus in the portal, like talking to some of those schools, it was like out of high school, I never would have imagined like talking to the head coaches of these ACC Big 12 programs. Um, and yeah, when I got to campus, I remember it was against Division III Baldwin Wallace,
Nice.
actually. It was our first.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, they are. They're a factory. Uh, we played them in like a fall inter squad, and just like the magnitude of like putting on a D1 uniform, like D1 stands, all this. I remember I walked like the first two kids I faced. I was like, holy, like
Yeah.
my heart's racing. Like I thought I'd be fine, but I'm not. And then even after that, just like knowing that like at the beginning of this season, knowing that my stuff's like good enough to get guys out, like uh kind of having even the I didn't think so at first, and the coaches kind of had to beat that into me. They're like, dude, like we wouldn't put you out there if we didn't think you would succeed. Like, um, yeah, like I was like, I don't know if I have this in me, and then they were like, they had my back and kept putting me out there, and good results ended up coming.
Yeah, I think one thing that's kind of missed a lot when you think of like Division 3 to Division 1 transition is like lifestyle. Like what
Mhm.
are the big changes in like your overall general life from Rhodes to Miami?
Yeah, definitely a lot more. Just it's almost like a full-time job. Like at Rhodes, you can get away and golf in the fall and like do that stuff. But at my like we had four lifts a week, a couple of them like 6 a.m. like in the fall, and we're practicing every day, and it's optional.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
you-
The optionals.
yeah, yeah, everything's optional. Gotta have a certain amount of hours. Everything was optional, but yeah, it's like no days off besides weekends really, and even then we're playing outside competition for 2 months of the fall, and at Rhodes at least it was kind of 1 month of fall ball, one fall game, and then that's it.
In the spring, are your days busier too? Like, I don't know how much like we juggle going to class versus when you don't go to class. I assume there's a lot more of you're just leaving class high and dry to focus on baseball.
Hmm. Yeah, I was telling my coach this, like, if some guys had practice, they'd show up late at Rhodes. They'd be like, and he was like, he looked at me like I was crazy. He's like, that would
Yeah.
never, like that would never happen. Or like a midweek game, people are rolling out there as the game starts. He's like, hell, like
Yeah, for
that's
sure
not.
not.
Yeah. Is there, I guess to like bigger school, I'm sure there are more class slots too, so that you can kind of schedule around that a little bit better. Is there like a or like not mandatory, but is it like you're supposed to schedule classes in the morning?
Either morning or online. And
Okay.
we have like an academic advisor for the team who kind of helps with all that and gets us set up. But as far as game days go, like yeah, class does not go like we're just either on the road or at the field by 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And like the professors and everyone kind of understands that's the priority over some notes or whatnot.
So for on a game day, how does the arrival time change? Is BP a little bit more drawn out? Is there a more focused, not that stretch isn't focused, but is there a more, meticulous stretch routine, or is there what changes in that pregame routine between being at Rhodes and now being at Miami?
I mean, for me personally, like, starting routine, nothing really changes. But for the team, it's a lot more, I say, focused. Like, people get there and they understand, like, today we got a job to do. And it's not like we're not gonna go to the locker room and sit on our phone. Like once BP starts, like we're here and we're locked in. Um, but as a starter, it's kind of on you that day. Like whatever you want to do, whatever you need, like you got like no one's gonna get in your way. You got your own thing. And then as a position guy, like, BP 2 hours before, I mean you're locked in kind of the whole time until game time.
You're not
Gotcha.
rolling up to the locker room middle of the way through home BP like you did after you got your ace status, right?
No, yeah, you're not strolling in
You're
on your own time, hopping
walking
the
into
fence.
Burks.
Yeah.
So I guess a question that I've been thinking about in some of our previous conversations, talking about your velocity jump from last year to this year and throughout your college career, especially going in from your junior to your senior year, what were some of the biggest things that helped you boost that velo to now working in the low 90s as opposed to kind of, flashing it a few times?
Yeah. I think a lot of it's just kind of workload, like our strength people here. It's not really everyone does the same thing. It's like today, it's at like before your pen, you're gonna do like a dynamic primer kind of warm up um, type of lift. And then day after, like it's designed to help you recover and get ready for your start. And same thing, like after you pitch, you hit a certain heavy intent day, and then before you pitch, you hit a little like side, like explosive primer type of thing. So I think a lot of it is attributed to that, and just kind of having this program tailored to me, I guess. And I, I mean, to me, it's the same, like just still pitching, and it just happens to be a couple miles an hour harder than last year, I guess.
It's not uncommon, I think, and they were saying this about someone on the Red Sox where like if you start out not throwing super hard and you threw hard for D3, but you learn how to pitch. Especially
Definitely.
some games at Rhodes where you're coming in, maybe starting the first inning at 85 to
Yeah.
87.
Oh yeah.
You learn how to pitch and use your pitches and not just throw past guys. So I think building velocity later is maybe your best advantage right now because you just add that on to everything that you've already developed.
hmm I totally agree. Like I came in, I think mid 80s freshman, and then just slowly increased. Like junior year, I was, upper 80s, topping 92 maybe. And then this year, it's like sitting almost 90, topping of 93, 94-ish. But as like starting lower, like, I've never had the ability to beat guys with a fastball. So I have to find a way to get them to pound it in the ground or
Mm.
flash something else.
Especially that slide step changeup. It's best pitch in baseball
Still
if you
not
can execute
patched.
it, not patched. Slide step changeup is a hitter's nightmare.
For sure, man. One of my pitching coaches told me that when I was in high school and haven't stopped since.
Is there anything on like the pitching arsenal slash development side that they've really honed in on, like at Miami as opposed to Rhodes?
Yeah, one big thing that I mean we worked on the fall and has done really well this spring is like realizing that my four seam and two seam fastball are different pitches and they get like different results. Um, so like at Rose, it was more just like fastball's a fastball, like throw it in the zone. And at like here, my pitcher coach has been working on me like four seam can set up like a two seam because it's almost a change up to like the batter, like it moves like horizontal instead of like riding and getting in on the hands. So being able to do that and then have like the two seam and change up look the exact same and then just be different miles an hour. Those are kind of the two main things that have worked.
And I don't remember which it's the pitching chart where it's got, the movement profiles, the horizontal break and the IVB. Are
Yeah.
are you guys using that to try and shape your pitches and figure out which pitch is best for you?
Yeah, we get, I mean, like a TrackMan report after we pitch every time, and like we'll go over with a pitching coach, and he's just like, hey, like the plot, whatever, like
Mhm.
these two pitches are the exact same, but like you could think they're different. So you try to like separate those and differentiate them, like in the fall, and then in the spring it's more like you got what you got. Let's make it
Yep.
work. Like
And
we're
then
not
is
changing.
I guess when you have those pitches that are near each other on the graph, is that when you start tweaking grips or tweaking pressure points?
Hmm. Or even like just mental cues, like how to throw it, how to,
Okay.
because I mean, either one of those three is what you change and try to toy with it in the bullpens and live outings.
I want to switch gears a little bit if we can,
Of
talk
course.
about your international circuit days.
Yeah, man.
Um, Stints for the Great Britain under 23 team more than once. Um, Two questions might be a little wordy, but firstly, what's the difference in like the environment with college baseball in the States and international baseball? And then what was different about your second Great Britain trip compared to your first one when it was new?
Yeah. Um, I'd say the environment is just a lot more electric and meaningful. Like the fans are doing anything. They got the horns like just blowing them and you're wind up and they're everything. Like this is the World Series to especially those European teams
Mhm.
um that the Great Britain plays against. Like they home grow a lot of their talent and it's kind of personal when Great Britain, a team of like people with citizenship but not necessarily from there, like go in there and beat them. So they don't like us very much, especially in Europe. And it's pretty it just means a lot more to the players because you're representing the whole country instead of just, 30 guys or an alumnus like group. And then the second question,
What was different about the second time
oh,
compared to the first time?
yeah, first time a
The
lot of
China, was that the
nerves.
China trip?
Yeah, that was a China trip. So first time was after freshman year. It was like a qualifier. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just watched the World Baseball Classic that year and was like, hey, I could probably play for them. Um, and they took me on the team. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this. And then second time, I realized kind of the gravity of like you're representing the whole nation of fans and people who have played in the past. And I was a lot more comfortable like on the team, like started to kind of become like a leader, captain type of guy because I'd been there before. And but it's just really cool to get to play baseball. Like the first time was in Austria and the second time was in China. Like I never thought I'd be in China at
Playing
all, let
baseball.
alone playing, yeah, let alone
Yeah.
playing ball.
When you're at these international tournaments, were there a lot of I remember you played one of the Latin American teams over in China. Were there affiliate ball guys on those teams?
I actually pitched against like the Puerto Rican under 23 national team and they had that Enrique Hernandez dude, the LSU catcher for a little while.
Mm,
A couple like affiliate like, single A minor league guys who have been playing for that organization since 16 years old.
right.
Um, and they play like I love the way Latins play. They play with a lot of flair. We've got a few at Miami, and they play with like they're hard on their sleeve, and it's great. And it's really cool to see like how different countries play. Like Japan's very respectful. Like just clean, smooth, solid, and the Latins will get fired up, pimp double, like they do all of it, and it's great.
It's a product of the cultures there,
Hmm.
and then in the US, if you get lucky enough, you get kind of a mixed bag of all of it.
Then,
No
yeah, I
way.
guess what else? What else do we got? I don't know. What are some cool things that you've had going on since you've either A made the move to Miami? Any cool starts? Um,
Cool places you've
cool play.
traveled.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think we played at Kentucky. That was really cool. They got great field, and like they hit like a homer against us. Had a little light show. It was pretty cool.
that's cool.
Um,
Yeah, we don't the Rhodes College Lynx don't have those shiny things on poles, so we can't do a
yeah,
light
Oh,
show.
sick.
that's step one. Um, that was cool. We went to Florida. I mean, it was kind of the same deal as we did, like just a complex. I mean, it was nice to be in that weather, but new things was like in the fall at least, and a couple in the spring, like some pro guys and like little
Guys,
draft
draft guys that
interest.
came back. Oh, yeah, for
Hmm.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Because I never really like considered playing baseball until I got here. Like I was like, oh, like, I'm good, but I don't know. Like I'm not talked to any scouts, and I'm already a junior. Like I don't know. But in the fall, a few reached out, and like in the spring, they invited me to some like pre-draft workouts and stuff. So
Nice.
And when will those be? Those will be at the beginning of June
yeah, I think obviously before the draft.
because they moved it back now, right? So it doesn't. It's well after Omaha.
It's like late May, early June,
Okay.
or all kind of through June.
Okay.
And what does that kind of look like? Because I know there's like a draft combine, but it's kind of like not really a big thing yet, like it is in the NFL or the NBA is probably still bigger than it too. Like what do those workouts like kind of look like?
I'm not sure yet. I'd assume it's just kind of they at least make you face a hitter or throw a bullpen.
Yeah.
First day on a new job, you just show up and do what they tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever they want, I'm
You guys
there.
will learn that quick. I'll tell you that much.
You're a
And
pro, you're a pro scout. I'll do whatever you want.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a Padres backpack. Oh, yeah. I'll throw a bullpen. Yeah. But yeah, no. What else? Well, I got a note here. Does Miami play Moth?
Oh, Big Mouth.
Okay,
Good.
there you go.
Um,
So there is some culture up there.
oh yeah.
I know that the state of Ohio gets some flack sometimes, and I say no. I say enough. My mother went to
Hey,
college in Ohio. Wittenberg
awesome.
University alum.
Shout out Wittenberg.
Shout out Wittenberg. Shout out good Division III baseball club they have.
Really.
They do. They're ranked, they're
I
in the
think they're top
mix.
10 right now.
Wow, how about that?
And they
How
I
is it having your family in Ohio? I know that when you played here, your family, for the most part, kind of moving around a little bit, but for the most part, was in Bentonville, a few hours away, came to a lot. How is it? I'm sure your dad is there every week. How is it having your family still close by, even after you made the move?
I mean, it's been great, especially in the MAC. All these kind of schools are max 3 hours away. So, like, my parents would come to a lot of home games at Rhodes, but like going to Jackson or going to like Georgia was a big tax kind of. So I mean, I've had at least one parent at every MAC game. They couldn't get down to Florida
Nice.
for some, but like they've been loving it. They've been even bringing the dogs because it's such short of a drive. Get to see the old pups and
There you
whatnot.
go.
Nice.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I think I don't know. What else you guys got for the Ace?
My last question was going to be about goals through the end of the season and beyond, but it seems like he's doing whatever they tell him and and getting a shot at this thing for real.
Hopefully, man, we got some goals as a team. Want to win this MAC regular season. We're one game out right now, and like we have the tiebreaker against the team in first. So that's like either that or getting that large bid, which we're gonna have to beat a few teams. We're playing Michigan tomorrow, big RPI game. I think we were supposed to play like Bellarmine, and we kind of swapped them out for Michigan.
The RPI is important, especially when you guys hit the three as well as you do.
Mhm.
Going on winning that many games in a row with kind of a softer strength of schedule, and being able to hit those triples and having a smaller lineup, just going five out. Um, I think it bodes well. But yeah, I guess. Oh, one more thing I was thinking of. Yeah, so I was I was I remember we had talked about this a little while ago, the possibility of the Olympics, and representing the the maiden the motherland in the games. Is there or have you talked to anybody about that goal or
Hmm. Um, I mean, the guy who's kind of been with me the whole Great Britain thing got me on the team and just been part of like the coach ever since. His name's Connor Brooks. Um, he's like talked to me. He had talked to me about the World Baseball Classic, but it was just tough to work with. We had conference play and they had me as an alternate anyway. Like they didn't select me. Um, so they were just talking. He was talking about the next step and like be ready for. They're playing like a Premier 12 thing soon, like next year, and then the Olympics in 2 years. So he's like, keep playing, keep staying healthy, and like, you're on our radar. It's just a matter of time.
okay,
So
there you go.
hopefully I'm pitching well enough in 2028 to get selected. It'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have anything else. You guys got anything?
I'm good. I'm
All
great.
good. All right,
Yeah,
How
well,
are the Rhodes fellows feeling about this year?
Team's
honestly,
doing well.
really
Yeah.
good.
Fellows are winning, man. It's great to see.
it's a fun ball club to watch from the minimal games I've been
Yeah.
as Coach Spike. But yeah, no, I mean we have a new freshman with the single season home run record. It's not
All right. He
bad.
beat Burke.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
beat
Yeah,
yeah.
he's at 12.
12 and counting.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
shout out
Shout out to
Benjamin Allen
bro.
Burkhart from Germantown, Tennessee.
For real.
Um,
Short-lived record, but still
Yeah.
had it for a little bit.
Still had, I mean, records are record.
Exactly.
Just happened. It was kind of like the whole unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And with the way this Martin's cat's swinging the stick,
Yeah.
um,
It comes out hot.
That's some
it
juice,
Oh
comes
my
man.
off the
gosh,
bat
look
pretty
at him.
quick.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, so I think that'll do it for this episode. Last remarks from me. Let's go Flyers. Um,
Go
Lock it
Seas.
up.
yeah,
Happy Marathon Monday.
Happy Marathon Monday, everyone. And we will see you on the next edition of the PSN interview series. I may have another former big leaguer on next time, a very close friend of mine. So I will keep you all in the loop and we will see where this thing takes us. So everybody take care, have a good evening, and goodbye.